Welcome back. Let's go over some really quick, trickier questions that are related to negative powers just to close out our time studying exponents. So we have this example here. Example 1 says 5 to the power of negative 1 to the power of 3. What does that equal to? Well, I first noticed that you're just taking powers of powers here. So I'm going to take the minus 1 to the power of 3 and I'm going to multiply them together. So this whole thing becomes 5 to the power of negative 1 times 3. You know then that negative 1 times 3 is equal to negative 3. So 5 to the power of negative 3 becomes 1 over 5 to the power of 3. Notice how here, as we did in the last video, I am taking the reciprocal of the original when I have a negative power. I next know that 1 over 5 to the power of 3 is equal to 1 over 125. 5 times 5 times 5 is equal to 125. So that's method 1. But let's look at what other methods there might be. Yesterday we learned that there's multiple different types of methods, and today I want to show you another one. So here I have 5 to the power of negative 1 and the inside of the parentheses, right? Well, I know that 5 to the power of negative 1 is equal to 1 over 5 to the power of 1, which is simply equal to 1 over 5. So I'm going to write that in blue. I then take that blue 1 over 5 and I put that into the original equation. Parentheses 5 to the power of minus 1, parentheses to the power of 3. That's equal to 1 over 5 to the power of 3. And if I have the power of 3 on the outside of the parentheses, I can simply distribute to the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator. So 1 over 5 to the power of 3 becomes 1 to the power of 3 over 5 to the power of 3. That's equal to 1 over 5 to the power of 3, because 1 to the power of 3 is equal to 1. And 1 over 5 to the power of 3, as we said earlier, is also equal to 1 over 125. Between these two methods, there's not a better one. Just do whatever feels best for you and most comfortable for you. In this next kind of example problem, we have a 2 of an exponent on the outside of the parentheses. I'm going to distribute this 2 onto the inside. Remember that distribute means that I'm multiplying the 2 onto each of the terms that I'm multiplying on the inside of the parentheses. So if I have here 2 on the outside, this whole thing becomes 5 to the power of minus 1 times 2 to the power of minus 2 times 2. Notice how I'm multiplying the 2 by the exponent that originally was there. Finally, that becomes 5 to the power of negative 2 times 2 to the power of negative 4, because I'm multiplying the two exponents together. That becomes 1 over 5 to the power of 2, because that's a negative exponent, finding the reciprocal, times 1 over 2 to the power of 4. I'm doing the same thing, finding the reciprocal. So just to recap, I took the exponent, I distributed it, and then I found the reciprocal because it's a negative power. Finally, I'm just going to multiply it together. The 1's on the top, so that stays as 1. And on the bottom, on the denominator, that becomes 5 to the power of 2 times 2 to the power of 4, which is equal to 1 over 25 times 16, because 5 to the power of 2 is 5 times 5, 25. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. And that becomes 1 over 400. Now, I drew a line at the beginning because I want to show that there's a different way to solve this. So what if I took the inside of the parentheses and I did that first? I noticed that 5 to the power of negative 1 is 1 over 5 to the power of 1. 2 to the power of negative 2 is equal to 1 over 2 to the power of 2. And then I multiply the inside of the parentheses together before I distribute. So that becomes 1 over 5 to the power of 1 times 2 to the power of 2. That becomes 1 over 5 times 4, which becomes 1 over 20. And that whole thing is parentheses to the power of 2. If I do the power of 2 onto the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator, I then get 1 to the power of 2 over 20 to the power of 2, which is equal to, well, we know 1 times 1 is 1, and 20 times 20 is 400. So that's 1 over 400. Either way, notice how we got the exact same answer of 400. Of 1 over 400, which gives us the fact that this is the same answer either way. Either method works. Use whatever is best for you. This is another type of example problem you're going to see, where if you have a fraction inside the parentheses to the power of a negative number. So I have here 5 over 3 to the power of negative 2. Well, I have a power of negative 2, so I know I have to find the reciprocal of that. So that becomes 1 over with parentheses 5 over 3 to the power of 2. Notice how I took the reciprocal of the entire thing. So I'm putting it 1 over 5 over 3 to the power of 2. So this is pretty simple. That becomes 1 over 25 over 9 because 5 times 5 is 25 and 3 times 3 is 9. So then we know that when we divide by a fraction, we're multiplying by the reciprocal. So that's 1 times 9 over 25. That becomes simply 9 over 25, and then we are done. So I'm not teaching a new concept today. Instead, I'm just simply showing you different types of hard problems that you might see. So instead of a review, let's go over one more example problem. Ureli says ab to the power of negative 1 is equal to 1 over ab. Is she correct? I want to go over this problem because this is something I see a lot of people doing. So I want to make sure we understand this before moving on. We have ab to the power of negative 1 and 1 over ab. Let's put them in different colors for now. We know ab to the power of negative 1. That's equal to, that's not 1 over ab. That is a times b to the power of negative 1. That's very important. Those are two separate terms here. The negative 1 only applies to the b. Once again, the negative 1 only applies to the b. So what do we have here? A times b to the power of negative 1. I'm going to put them in parentheses. That's just simply a times 1 over b to the power of 1. Because that negative 1 applies to the b. That becomes a times 1 over b, which becomes a over b. The a becomes the numerator because you're multiplying a times 1. Well, that's different from what I see. That's not the same thing as 1 over ab. So as you can tell, ab to the power of negative 1 is a over b. And parentheses ab to the power of negative 1, that's what you want. That's 1 over ab. So as you can see, Ureli is not correct in this case, but this is a mistake that I see a lot of people making. So I want to make sure we understand this before moving on to the vocabulary. So as you can see, there's multiple ways to solve problems involving negative powers. Just make sure that when parentheses are involved, you are distributing carefully. Here, the spelling of parentheses always gets me, so make sure you're spelling parentheses correctly, and make sure you're also distributing when you have parentheses in the exponents. With that, you should have seen all of the different types of exponent questions. Well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them that people might throw at you. So despite the fact that we're not in school right now, you have come a long way in terms of mastering exponents. So as a result, I'm very proud of you. We're going to move on to other concepts in a bit. For now, good luck in the work. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Great job today. I always say like, comment, subscribe, but I only really see like 4 people liking and 1 person commenting every day. Shout out to Hayden for always commenting. For now, I'm very proud of you. Best of luck. See you tomorrow. Darkness, but I'm overjoyed though it's my dog was so walking. Yeah, it wants to be my peace. This song I'm the no limit, all him to know where my mind is. Oh.